Have you ever had one of those days where all you want is just a little peace and quiet? But then, when you finally get it, it feels really uncomfortable. It's a weird paradox, right? Well, let's get into why that sense of peace can sometimes feel so unsettling.
So you finally find that moment of silence, and bam. Instead of feeling calm, your mind just goes into overdrive, or you feel this strange tension in your body. It's almost like the silence itself turns up the volume on all the noise inside you. So why on earth does that happen?
When you first step into quiet after a lot of noise or chaos, the initial feeling usually isn't peace. It can just feel empty, like a really important sound from your life's soundtrack just got cut off.
And that feeling of emptiness, it can quickly start to feel unstable. You might feel kind of ungrounded, almost like you're floating without anything to hold on to. And all of this gets mixed together into this vague, hard-to-describe feeling that something is just slightly wrong. It's not a full-blown alarm bell, but it's a definite, deep sense of unease. Okay, so to really understand this feeling, we have to look under the hood at our nervous system and what it thinks is normal. For a lot of us, our default setting isn't actually calm and quiet. It's more of a constant, low-grade state of alert.
I mean, think about it. This system is wired for survival, right? To scan for threats. But in our world today, the threats are endless emails, notifications, and deadlines. So our nervous system gets trained to always be scanning, to always be ready for the next thing, and to live with this constant undercurrent of tension. And that, believe it or not, becomes our familiar state.
And this really shows the difference. Our familiar, everyday state has this constant hum of readiness going in the background. So when true quiet shows up, we don't feel it as relief. We feel it as the absence of that hum. And that absence can feel super jarring. And this brings us to a really crucial idea. The discomfort we're feeling, it's not coming from an actual threat. It's the discomfort of being neutral, a state our body is just not used to anymore. It's that classic feeling where nothing's happening makes you feel like something important is missing. You know, there's actually a name for this: unfamiliarity discomfort. And that's exactly what it is. It's just your nervous system going, whoa, hold on, this is new. I haven't practiced this whole quiet thing before. It's not danger, it's just different. And this quote just nails a key distinction. This isn't the same thing as anxiety, which is usually tied to a specific fear. This is more of a feeling of being unsure. Your body is basically asking, hey, where's the tension? Where's the problem I'm supposed to be solving right now? It feels like a key ingredient to your normal is suddenly gone. So what do we do when this discomfort hits? Well, our instincts take over immediately. Without even thinking about it, we try to fill that quiet space back up to escape the weird feeling. And this usually happens in a few classic ways. First, we reach for our phone, right? For that quick hit of stimulation. Or our brain just starts to spin on its own, replaying conversations or building to-do lists. And if that doesn't work, sometimes we might even subconsciously create a little problem to solve, just to give our brain something familiar to do. And why do we do this? It's simple, really. For a nervous system that's been trained for constant alertness, activity just feels safer than quiet. The familiar hum of doing something, anything at all, feels way more secure than the unnerving emptiness of silence. Okay, but listen up, because this is the single most important idea in this entire explainer. We have to completely reframe this discomfort. It is not a bad sign. In fact, it is a sign of progress. Let this one really sink in. If you feel uncomfortable when things get quiet, it does not mean that you're broken or that something is fundamentally wrong with you. It is a completely normal, even expected, part of a healing journey. In fact, that sense of unease is actually a positive signal. It's direct evidence that a deep, long-standing pattern of alertness and tension is finally starting to lose its grip. You're feeling the shift happen in real time. That feeling is the feeling of healing, even if it doesn't feel all that comfortable at first. So the next time you feel that discomfort bubble up in a quiet moment, I want you to ask yourself this question. If this isn't danger, what could it be the start of? Because it just might be the beginning of a new, more peaceful normal. In our next explainer, we'll dive into what happens when that quiet starts to feel like home. Thanks for tuning in.